Good day. The news coming out of Kaduna State today is deeply troubling, but perhaps what should concern us even more is how unsurprising it has become. Usman Garba, popularly known as Zingo, a member of the Kaduna State House of Assembly representing Kajuru Constituency, has been abducted by armed terrorists along the Zamfara highway. The incident happened on Wednesday, February 11th, while the lawmaker was returning from an official engagement in Zamfara state back to Kaduna. His driver watched helplessly as armed men forcibly pulled the elected representative from his vehicle and drove away with him, leaving behind yet another family in anguish and a community in shock. What happened to Honorable Garba is not an isolated incident, but rather the latest chapter in a story that has been unfolding across Nigeria's northwest for years now. These highways that were once bustling arteries of commerce and connection have transformed into corridors of fear. Commuters no longer plan their journeys based solely on distance and time, but on survival strategies. Do we travel during daylight only? Should we join a convoy? Is it safer to fly even though it costs 10 times more? These are the calculations ordinary Nigerians are forced to make in their own country. According to reports from security journalist Bakatsine, who broke this news, the terrorists double-crossed Garba's vehicle near the Kaduna metropolis in what appears to have been a well-coordinated operation. The driver rushed to the nearest police station to report the kidnapping, but by the time security operatives arrived at the location, the attackers had vanished. This pattern of late response has become all too familiar, and it points to deeper systemic issues within our security architecture. What makes this abduction particularly significant is who the victim is. Honorable Usman Garba Zingo is not just any citizen. He is an elected official, a lawmaker who sits in the Kaduna State House of Assembly, making decisions that affect millions of people. Yet none of that mattered when the terrorists struck. This sends a chilling message to everyone. If a state legislator can be plucked off the highway in broad daylight, what protection does the market woman traveling to sell her goods have? What safety does the student heading to university enjoy? The answer, increasingly, is none. Now, before we go further, if you are finding value in this discussion and you want to stay informed about the issues affecting our nation, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. We are committed to bringing you not just the news, but the context that helps you understand what is really happening in Nigeria. The kidnapping of Honorable Garba sits within a disturbing timeline of escalating violence across the northwest. Just one day before his abduction, armed bandits attacked vehicles carrying traders from Kaura Namoda to Talata Mafara in Zamfara state. These traders were ordinary Nigerians trying to earn a living, and they became targets simply for being on the road. The terrorists opened fire on their vehicles, injuring several passengers who are now receiving treatment at Mafara Hospital. The violence has reached such levels that even those tasked with protecting us are falling victim. Earlier this week, 2 police inspectors, Adam Saidu and Idem Ndimon, along with 4 civilians, were killed when heavily armed bandits invaded Tsekaseve village in Benue State. The attackers came on nearly 100 motorcycles in a coordinated military-style assault. That level of organization speaks to something far more sophisticated than random criminal activity. What we are witnessing is not just a security crisis, but an economic and social catastrophe in slow motion. When highways become too dangerous to travel, trade collapses. When trade collapses, prices increase. When poverty deepens, more young men become vulnerable to recruitment by the very criminal groups terrorizing communities. Thousands of children have been pulled out of schools because parents fear sending them on dangerous roads. Farmers are abandoning their fields because traveling has become a death sentence in many areas. We are watching entire regions being hollowed out economically and socially. As we speak tonight, Honorable Usman Garba Zingo's family does not know where he is or what condition he is in. The abductors have not yet made contact to demand ransom, and that silence is terrifying. His wife might be staring at her phone waiting for it to ring. His children might be asking when daddy is coming home. This is the human reality behind the statistics and headlines. The question we must all confront is what kind of country we want to live in. Do we accept that traveling on our own highways has become a life-threatening gamble? Do we normalize the fact that elected officials can be kidnapped with apparent ease? Or do we demand better from our leaders and our institutions? What are your thoughts on this crisis? Do you believe our security agencies have the capacity to turn this situation around, or do we need fundamental reforms? Share your experiences and ideas in the comments below because these conversations matter. If this video has given you something to think about, please share it with your family and friends. At what point does a society that has normalized kidnapping, banditry, and highway attacks decide that enough is enough? And what will actually it take for us to reach that breaking point?